I came down here to ask for more time.
Nothing doing.
Well, but plenty's doing. I know you're killing
Why you need more time?
it. Well, I want to get that $50,000 for you.
2 hours is all you get. If you don't have this thing solved by that time, you get the rest of your life.
Give me that shit, half of that, need to get some cash quick. 50-50 split, 25K running my way. What if I say? I know the killer, but it won't show the po-po. If you would just meet me at the corner store.
Hey everybody, here with another podcast. Good morning, it's Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Here I am, all up in your ear. Let me touch your ear. Not if you're a man, girl, maybe in a past life. You heard my freestyle talking I just did? That shit's rough. Got to tell you all about some sponsors right now real quick. Let's see. Manic Presents. What do they got going on? They ain't got none for a couple weeks, but we can talk about the week of September. Yeah, we can talk about the week of September 4th. So September 4th, Cafe 9. That's September 4th, 5 o'clock. Show at 6. 21 plus. Laundry Day. Album release. The Backyard Committee. Ellison Jackson. Patrick Dalton of the Proud Flesh. Go down to, Cafe 9, have a fucking beer, have some popcorn, and have a good show. September 6th, Bar in New Haven. Doors at 9, show at 9:30, 21 plus. This is a free show with Weekend Friends Bildrat in Western Estates. That is at Bar. Go on down there, get yourself some pizza, because I think Bar is one of the better pizza places in New Haven. And New Haven is the pizza mecca of the world, and don't try to fucking tell me so. September 7th, the Ballroom at the Outer Space, Hamden, Connecticut. Doors at 8, show at 8:30, all ages. Diet Sig, Rat Boys, and Quiet Giant. I don't really know what genre that is, but Diet Sig sounds pretty fun. Okay, Saturday, September 10th is 4 Year Strong, but like I said before, that show is sold out. Maybe you could go get one of your peoples to get you a ticket, or go see a scalper. Either or. If you can get a ticket, go to the goddamn show. Let's talk about another show. My buds in CT Hate Productions, or CT Hate Records, presents Jukai, Year of the Knife, Separated, and Vamachara. Saturday, September 16th at 6:30 at the Wham Leg. If you are a Connecticut hardcore person, you know where that is. So go and, support my boys, Big Rob, Dan, motherfucking Kyle. And let's talk about Hartford Denim Company, dog. It's back to school. You need some nice jeans. So you better go down to Hartford Denim Company and get yourself some real nice jeans, you know what I'm saying? Hartford Denim Company, a.k.a. Hardenco, is a manufacturer of the strongest clothes available. We at Hardenco stand by this statement by backing all of our products with free repairs for the life of the garment. Made using only the highest quality materials, everything we produce is cut and sewn in our shop in Hartford, Connecticut, USA. We also specialize in the production of commercial aprons for, but not limited to, the restaurant, bar, and woodworking industries. Please see www.hardenco.com for more information. They are at 236 Hamilton Street, Hartford, Connecticut. They have a showroom. Go check them out. If they don't got nothing to fit you, they'll make it for you. They do all kind of custom stuff. They got fucking luggage. They got bags. They got fanny packs. They got backpacks. They got all kinds of shit. Those dudes are fucking killing it over there. They're about to open up a store in Williamsburg. Go fucking support them. Support small business. Those are my people. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by DiMichele's Barbershop and Emporium, located at 6 Kirby Road in Cromwell, Connecticut, exit 21 off of I-91. DiMichele's specializes in all types of men's haircuts and hot shaves. Services are available by appointment only, which can be made conveniently online at DiMichelesBarbershop.com. That's DIMICHELES Barbershop.com, or by calling 860-502-3540 for all you fucking old cavemen that don't know how to fucking make your fucking shit online. Gift cards are available in any denomination, and they also offer my personal favorite, their own water-soluble pomade. Just got a fucking new tub last week. Shit is the best. So go get a fresh cut, a clean shaven, and an awesome product, and tell them Ben sent you. DiMichele's Barbershop and Emporium, responsible barbering. My boy Eli just hit me up the other day, and he goes, dude, ever since your podcast, people are pronouncing the name of my barbershop correctly. So I felt good. It's working. Well, ladies and gents, it's a hot one out there, so beat that motherfucking heat with the one and only Nitro Cold Brew, the cold kick in the pants that summer demands. A proud sponsor of BB with BG, the Cold Brew Coffee Company offers you their infamous Nitro Cold Brew and now carries a selection of delicious and refreshing nitro teas. Products are fair trade, organic, and available at your favorite Connecticut bars, restaurants, farmers markets, and more. Not in Connecticut? No problem. Products are available for purchase online at coldbrewcc.com. Stay up to date with the newest flavors and retailers by checking out Cold Brew CC on Instagram. Cold Brew CC, the best damn cold brew. Well, that's for all the sponsors. I think I got through everything I had to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a guest on today that is one of my best friends. He will be a best man in my wedding. This is how close this guy is to me. His name is Tim Ryan, but you might know him as Tim Wiggins. He's a rapper. He's a dad. He builds cell phone towers, and he's lived a fucking insane life. Tim was born in the projects in Bristol and Lake Ave and stayed there till probably about 30, maybe. I don't know. He moved out, but he's been living with his wife for a few years now. But back in the day, me and Tim got into a lot of shit together. We pulled a lot of fucking heists together. We did a lot of drugs. We did some robberies. We did a lot of fights. We beat up a lot of rappers, we beat up a lot of fucking people. And this is just a testament to how we have kind of turned our lives around. Like, don't get it fucked up. We'll still beat you up, but, like, we don't go looking for it anymore. We tell some stories about, growing up in the projects, me hanging out with him, music shit that we used to do, crazy-ass stories that nobody would hear unless you heard them coming out of his mouth. Me and Tim grew up together. We attended special ed together. That's where we met. And it's been a fucking up and down fucking crazy roller coaster of a friendship ever since then. This is one of my, he's my family. I treat this guy like family. And he's one of those people that would kill for me, and I just would like you guys to take a little bit of time and listen to his story because it's fucking awesome and inspiring. But without further ado, ladies, Tim Wiggins.
I break bread, break bread, break bread, break bread, break bread, I break bread, break bread, break bread, I break bread, break
Chat, it's your boy Chat. Chat was the older weird brother in Weird Science, right? The one that smoked fucking what's his name from Aliens that died. Bill Paxton.
I don't remember.
You don't remember Weird Science? And he was like the older brother. He smoked cigars in his room.
That's where they built the girl?
Yeah.
I remember the girl.
Dude, he was fucking great in that. He had a small role, but he was such a psycho. And he had a crazy flat top, Marine haircut. And he was like, "What's up, losers?" Dude, it was so fucking good.
Like a Biff?
Oh, that kind of character, you know what I mean?
Biffish.
Oh my God. So we just restarted because me and Tim were telling a story, and I don't know, I had a technical difficulty, so we're hitting it again.
Rewind.
So what's up, man? People, I gotta let you know that Tim Ryan, you might not know him by that name, but you might know him as motherfucking Tim Wiggins. And he's a rapper. He's a good rapper. He doesn't rap as much as he should, but he's better than me. And I don't listen to a lot of rap, but whenever time Tim puts out a song, I genuinely enjoy it in my heart. When dudes are like, "Yo, listen to this song." 9 times out of 10, you're like, that I wouldn't play that to listen to. But
correct.
Every once in a while, you like, "Oh shit, this is good." He's that kind of rapper for me. Me and Tim grew up in Bristol, Connecticut.
Bristol.
We went to Bristol Central High School. We met in special ed, and that's where our fucking legacy started. And goddamn it, what's that? 94. So 95. So yeah, 22 years.
I think you were still in Eastern in 94.
Yeah, I went back and forth.
I think that's 23 years, but
oh, my math. I'm sorry. I'm all fucked up.
It's that drug dealer math.
You round up. So we're here today. We're going to tell you some tales of Yorn. We just got done talking about all Tim's 4 beautiful children.
Yes.
Ladies, if you walk into a room and breathe, you will get pregnant because that's how fertile Tim is. You should actually sell your semen because your children are all fucking healthy and beautiful. There's people out there that don't. There's guys out there that can't even come.
Yeah, my mother used to tell me I come from good stock.
My mother used to tell me I couldn't come. I thought you were gonna say. Holy fuck. That brings me, dude. I'll tell you one thing, man. Not a day goes by where I do not think of your mother.
Ugh.
Oh my God. For anybody, well, you guys don't know this, but Tim's mother was like kind of my second mother. And she would fucking keep us out of trouble. She would take care of us when we were all fucked up. And she was the kind of lady that would kick everybody else out of the house, but tell me to go in the basement.
Tim, I love you, but you gotta go.
Yeah.
Ben, you can stay.
Great. Yeah. She'd kick Tim out and let me stay. Oh my God.
Fucking insane.
Gail Ryan, rest in peace, babe. So what the fuck, man? What are we gonna talk about? What you been up to lately?
Shit.
You work a lot, huh?
I work a lot.
He's a daredevil.
I just escaped the prison sentence.
Oh, talk about it. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but we don't gotta go too far.
I don't want
into
to talk too much about it.
Me and Tim have a checkered past when it comes to the justice system, and every once in a while, something just comes back, and we got to deal with it.
And that's what this was. It was something from 2013, which I had straightened my life out years before that, but wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
I was with a mutual friend of me and Ben's sons. He got into some trouble.
And that's all they really need to know.
Yeah.
Dog.
And they tried to tie me to it and try to put me in jail.
So what we're trying to say is me and Tim be living that fucking street life before any of you were. And you better respect it. I have to get my my pardon done, and I actually found a guy to do it, and I'm gonna pay him some money in October, $2,500.
I was about to do it so I could get a pistol permit, being that I'm a homeowner and I have family and children.
Being it, I'm a homo. I thought you were gonna say.
You know, we got Trump as president. You know, it wouldn't be too bad to have something in the stash, but
Oh yeah.
I got this recent felony, which, you know, I could expunge the old stuff.
You
but-
could get it taken off, but you could probably got to wait a minute for that one since it's
Well,
so
no,
new.
I could get the old stuff taken off, but it's still going to be at least 7 years.
Yeah, they told all my stuff is from before 2004, so I'm good to go. But I did a pardon myself, and I got the letter back stating that it needed to stay public record. It's just like doing your taxes yourself. You do it yourself, you're gonna fuck something up.
Of course.
And there's a place in Norwich called the Connecticut Pardon Team, and before you even talk to anybody, you got to PayPal them $500, and then they kind of do it slowly. But I got a guy that's like a criminal defense lawyer, and this is what he does. So it's like $1,050 up front, $1,000 for the fee, $50 to get your record from the police, and then once everything's said and done and you're good, you got to give them another $1,500.
You're going to have to commit another felony to
I know.
pay for
I
it.
got to do that robbery to get the money. But the dude has been doing it his whole life, and the only reason I went with this guy is because he's been doing it his whole life, and he's only had 2 people been told like no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had my criminal lawyer refer me to a expunged lawyer. That's not even the right word.
You just
expunged. A lawyer that expunges.
Expungation? I don't know. I don't know.
And I called him and touched base with his secretary, but I also have a civil suit held against me from that kid I punched that time in Hartford.
That's been so long.
Yeah, the dude's trying to take my house, all kinds of shit. But anyway.
Let's take his life. We got to be careful.
Yeah.
No, we're going to give him life.
So much life.
I'm going to give him fucking flowers.
Several lives.
On his grave.
Yeah, this dude starts shit, gets punched, and then pulls the cop over to get me arrested. It was 5 of them and 2 of us. One punch, I could have jumped on him, nothing. But his father was a lawyer. Remember the paperwork? They made me look like the Incredible Hulk. I was like 21.
Yeah. He beat up 400 people. Maybe they were just around during the Sully's thing, because you definitely did beat up 400 people that night.
No.
Yeah.
42.
42. Dude, it's so funny because when I had Joey Bats on, we brought it up.
I know.
And he was just like, well, all right, let's talk about it. And I was like, dude, don't get me wrong. Like, I love you now. Tim loves you now. But back then, everybody was a little bit more ignorant. He's like, oh, I know how it is. But, dude, that day was fucking rough, dude.
No, but like he said, when I seen him, I know him as not a abrasive person towards me. He's
a nice guy.
Things got really well.
He's
with
your
us.
best friend.
Yeah, things went really well for us with music and shows and stuff. So I understand that dude's weren't so welcoming of it. People that have grinded,
Yeah.
forever with music. But that night, I don't know. It was I go back with that dude Lump. We used to smoke dust and go to Sully's for the when I wasn't writing music and I was still fucked up. I'd go to Sully's for the freestyle night. Get up there dusted and don't remember and freestyle and whatever.
Just freestyle the best verse of your life that you can't ever remember.
Yes, couldn't write as good as I freestyled on PCP.
Oh,
But so, and again, me and you that night, probably the only sober ones in the room, even though,
this is later in life, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't go there with the intentions of being violent or anything like that.
We never do.
But, he punched the DJ.
Yeah.
And part of obviously Joey wouldn't know this part, but they went on for like an hour and a half because we were having trouble uploading our instrumentals. Yeah. You know what I mean? So they opened up for like an hour and a half. We did our show, and then all of a sudden we go outside, seeing people who came in late and stuff, and all of a sudden dude punches PK and can't have that.
Yeah, it's just a simple rule of rap. If somebody punches your DJ, you got to beat the shit out of them. Dude, I just remember like having it all be done and being in the parking lot, and some big dude that nobody knew came walking over to me, and he was like, "Yo, you hit my man." And I remember I was like, "This guy's too much for me," and it just went, "Tim!" And Tim came walking over with a cigarette in his mouth, and he just gave the guy like a laser up and down, and then just did this weird like Tekken move where you dropped like your right hand down to the pavement, but then came up, and it was kind of like an uppercut, but you were coming up and across, and you just hit this guy, and it looked like he got shot by a sniper rifle, and he just folded into a ball on the floor.
He was big as fuck.
And then as soon as he hit the ground, I was like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
I just seen his bucket hat fly towards the fence.
Fuck. We used to be so violent, and now Tim's a family man, and I'm a fucking therapist.
I'm still violent.
We both are, but we know how to like control our fucking emotions nowadays. But dude, man, I tell you what, like you fucking grow up, things do change. You know what I mean?
My wife keeps me in check. I have so many things like that current criminal case and this. My poor wife doesn't deserve any of this. I punched some dude in my early 20s, and now he's trying to take my family's home. So it's like she keeps pointing out, like, look, you can't just walk around punching everybody. And I'm like, but if somebody fucks with you, like remember that time at the Halloween party? At the Ig Fit show when you had the ballerina costume on?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Definitely. That was a good one. A friend of ours' wife, we won't say who it was, but she was mad because when you punched the guy, a couple blood splatters flew onto her shirt.
Couple 2-3.
She was like, "Tim's a fucking savage," and people were like, "What do you expect?" You know what I mean? He disrespected you. No, the dude like looked at your girl's ass and said something to her, right?
And he blew a kiss at my wife.
Okay, that's fucking warranted, bro. I don't give a fuck where we are. If we were out, me and Meg, and a dude blew a kiss at her, you lose all reason and you fucking blank out.
Correct. That's what evolution.
Yeah,
men are here
like
to
a
protect.
fucking animal, dude.
And the funny part is we got there. It's the Ig Fit show. It's in downtown New Haven. Well, not downtown New Haven, but it's in New Haven.
Yeah, it's on Whaley Ave.
So there's this big dude, Puerto Rican. 6'6", 6'7", like a little bit taller than you.
Bigger than you.
Big dude. And he's mocking the way dudes are dancing, moshing in the pit, whatever. And he's making fun of him, and he's bouncing around like an asshole, and there's like this separator. And I tap my wife on the shoulder, I'm like, Steph, look at this dude. And she's like, yeah, what? I said, he's going to end up getting his ass kicked before he gets out of here. But I wasn't talking about me. I was figuring.
Yeah, somebody's going to do it.
Somebody was going to smash him because
he's drunk.
He was acting ignorant. No sooner than I say that, he looks over, makes eye contact with my wife, and blows her a kiss. And I'm just like,
dude, there's literally 5 seconds in between that happening and you knocking him out. Do you remember what I did?
I remember you telling me what you did and other people telling me what you did. But the best part is what you did it wearing.
I was dressed as a ballerina, a fat ballerina, and while this guy was laying on the ground knocked out, I went through his pockets.
While helping him out.
Yeah, I was like, I got it. That was always my thing. Got to help this guy up. But my hand was in a pocket. He had a wad of cash. But guess what was in the other fucking pocket? Fireworks.
Yes.
A couple packs of Black Cat little bit like ladyfinger fireworks.
You know he was getting ready to throw them in the middle of like the mosh pit or something.
Yeah, so we actually saved somebody's life.
I did a favor.
Dog. Yeah, we fucking saved somebody's life. My God. That was such a good story, dude. Oh, man.
I just remember, I kind of snapped and I just zone out. So when I woke up
You've
out
always
of
been like that.
out of like that, that rage, Steph grabs me and I turn around and I just see Wes, Icehold, and Jarvis, and they're just looking at me like
They don't live that life. They were just like, what the fuck? This dude's a maniac.
But I didn't say nothing to nobody. I just went over.
No.
I approached them.
You don't do shit like that for the fucking like fanfare. You did it because somebody blew a kiss at your wife.
Yeah, and I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, "You just blew a kiss at my wife," and he gave me a smug like.
He blew a kiss at you almost. Yeah.
You just took the words out of my mouth.
I remember.
He crunched up his lips like, "Yeah, like what you gonna do about it?" And I just caught him, and he was unconscious with the first shot, and I hit him with a second one, and I didn't know who was around me. I knew they were all friendly. I knew it was all our people, but. As soon as he hit the ground, I'm trying to get to his head to kick him, and I just see 4 different boots, just booting him.
Yeah, you didn't have to do nothing.
And I didn't hear Jessica screaming. I didn't hear anything until my wife finally grabs me and pulls me away. And as she was pulling me away, you were pulling him away, and his fireworks
and his money.
And his money. And then my brother-in-law had came, and he was probably just 21. Like. First time going to a bar with me, definitely.
And he was like, "This is what goes on here."
Dude, he went to the bathroom before it happened, and by the time he got out of the bathroom, I had to send Defunct back in to like find him because he came out of the bathroom to us already in the car, pulled up, waiting on him, and just to piss. And then we're driving down the street, and I see the dude wobbling down the street, holding his head.
That's fucking hilarious.
No, the costume was the best.
Yeah, and then
you had the sock prop to look like a
I had the sock in I was stuffing a sock
like a Conor McGregor cock on the weigh-ins.
But then the next year was when I was the fucking homeless transvestite.
You're out of your mind.
That was a fucking good outfit.
I don't have the.
That's when I used to care about Halloween. I don't like it now. I like giving kids candy. Like,
I don't mind Halloween. I just can never dress that extravagant.
No, I was fucking fat as hell too. My belly hanging out. Had what did I have? Fucking somebody wrote across my belly. Pussy fluffer.
Yes. I wish we could have pictures with this podcast.
Oh my God. Maybe I'll post a couple of the pussy fluffer posts. They're all on my Facebook page.
I remember once I took Steph. It was the first Halloween party we were together, and I brought her to Pete's party.
Mm-hmm.
And I wore this I went, usually I don't dress in a costume. I was like, fuck it. She wanted to wear a costume. I got this like body bag costume, and it was, with some like stupid head on the top. It was horrible. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't interact.
Mm-hmm.
It lasted about 5 minutes. And I just
took it off.
Yeah.
You were always that dude that might have like the Scream mask on. Like didn't really like getting into Halloween. I hated Halloween for years. Then I got into it for a few years and I was just over it. Now I like to sit home, turn my fucking front porch light on, fucking give kids candy and then tell them to fuck off and turn the light off. Like,
yeah, it's fun with the kids.
I like going to Pete's function like every year. Like that's cool. Like everybody dresses up and shit.
I love
that
the
shit
fall.
is right around the motherfucking corner, bro. That's like 2 months away.
I know. I love the fall.
It's favorite thing. And
the kids started school today. That's when I work outside, so
you
the weather
fucking walk to the goddamn bus stop September 1st. Stop fucking beating that mic up, bro. He didn't do shit to you.
I'm excited.
And that's when it was cold. Like this morning when I walked out to my car, it was like cold. And I was like, summer's over, dog. Fuck this. Get me
out
of here.
It's not completely over, but
no, in the morning.
Yeah, no, it's just my wife's always cold, but she's like, "Oh, should I have dressed the kids in shorts?" I'm like, "It's gonna be fine by 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hot,
fucking 80 degrees."
But I love fall's my favorite season, especially working outside. You don't sweat too bad. I'm a big boy, so in the summer it's like
I used to love doing like landscaping or like fucking golf course work in like September and October.
Yeah.
So beautiful, but yeah, man, people don't know that about Connecticut. You got a lot of people that say they fucking hate Connecticut only because they drive through it.
Yeah, it's just a highway.
No, it's more than a highway.
A lot
it's
more.
where people have built their lives.
Entire lives.
Raised their children.
4 of them.
I don't know if I'm going to have any kids. I'm not really sure.
You have to.
I was thinking about it. I might. I don't know. Me and Megan flip-flop back and forth.
You'd be a great dad.
I think I would.
Can you believe I have a 20-year-old daughter?
No, dude, that's fucking insanity. And I love her to death. She's one of my favorite people.
She's out of her mind.
She's just a good person.
Yeah.
She don't fuck with nobody, dude. I love her.
And it's like, you just get lucky.
Yeah. You did get lucky.
Yeah. As a father, you know, you have a daughter, and they're, you know, everybody's like, you got to watch out. Watch me. What are you going to do when your daughter's 16? What are you going to do when your daughter's 20 years old?
You're like, I didn't have to do shit.
What are you
going
gonna
to
do
not
when
a fucking idiot?
Yeah. What are you going to do when your daughter has a boyfriend? It's like,
Fucking shake his hand and tell him to say hi.
all those fears. It's like, I got lucky.
I hope if I do have a child, I pray that I have a daughter. Because if I have a son and he turns out anything like me, and I always get scared, like, is he going to have like an addictive gene? I don't want to have to go through what my parents went through. You know what I mean? And that's my biggest like hang up. But Meg's always just like, don't think like that. Don't think like that. So, and for a minute I was like, let's just fucking adopt a Mexican baby. And she was like into it for like a month. And she's like, no. And I was like, and then I have the cutest niece in the world. Yeah. I'm just like, if my baby don't come out looking like that, I'm going to be pissed. And she's like, well, that's because fucking Shirley's like part Filipino.
Can I return this one?
And any fucking white/Asian baby, they're all cute.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, fuck, you ain't Asian. I think we would have a nice little child. A nice little white child.
It's crazy because, like, they don't always, like, I'm a father, so I could say this. They don't come out super cute. Like, they get cute later. Yeah. You know, within a couple weeks, couple months. Jackson looked like a fucking pissed off turtle.
A baked potato.
Yeah, he came out. The first picture we got of him, he looks like he wants to stab somebody.
Dude, Matt told me, fucking Venus, she didn't smile for like 6 months, 5-6 months, and they thought something was wrong with her. Yo, they were about to make a doctor's appointment and be like, yo, could you give our child like a psych exam? And then one day she just cracked a fucking cheesy smile, and they were like, oh my God, thank God. But she would literally just stare at you and mean mug you while she was a baby, and they were like, dude, this child doesn't laugh at anything. And they were just like, there's got to be something wrong. And then she smiled and they were like, thank God.
Dude, it's so crazy being a first-time parent. Like,
oh yeah,
I dealt with it at 17 years old, but doing it again, you know, with this round, it was like it was a do-over because so different from being 17 to being, you know,
you were
almost
more
30.
You were grown up a little bit. Well, you were grown up, yeah.
But you know, so much worry goes into, you know, every little thing. But as you have kids, you know, like Jackson when he was born, he wasn't eating for like the first couple of days when we got out of the hospital. Steph's like a champ. She knew something was wrong. Like if left to me, I would have been like, I don't know. You know, he's just not hungry. But like we brought him.
He'll be hungry someday.
Yeah, we brought him to Yale, and they had, you know, because they're little, they got to do every test in the world on him, spinal taps, everything. He just ended up being dehydrated. But it's like, you know, that's that motherly instinct. But first time around, it's like if they're not smiling or whatever, you think like, what's wrong? You know?
Yeah.
And then you get to like your third one, and you're just like, just give him a boot in the ass.
Give him a Lunchable. He'll be good.
Yeah, throw something at him. He'll smile.
Oh, man. So, I know we got some fucking stories in the tank, bro. So, what story could we tell?
Too many.
Should I tell the hot dog Marie Bukikio story?
Yes.
All
Since
right.
that's, I mean, that's
we were
high
both
school
kind of,
relationship.
we were both kind of involved in that. I think you might have saw it unfold.
I saw it, and I fell when you fell.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's right. You were like kind of standing to me. So, all right. I hope you're not listening, Marie or Michael Gaddy, because you're married to her. But when we were younger, I had a friend named Marie Bukikio. She's still my friend, but she was like, there was all these girls in high school, and she was like the cooler one that was kind of like not tomboyish, but she was just like a little bit cooler than
She wasn't uppity.
She wasn't uppity. She wasn't a bitch, right? So me and Tim were in special ed, and we were in the basement because that's where they put all the special ed people is in the basement. And across the hall from our room was the home economics room. And Marie was wearing like a thin, I don't know what the fuck they called it. It was a pencil skirt. I don't know. Like
I don't think it was a pencil skirt.
What is the motherfucking dress that's like really close to your body, sheer, that goes all the way down to your feet? Whatever that was.
Yes.
So she's wearing one of those, and she goes to the other home ec room.
Like a gypsy skirt.
Yeah. And she grabs a bag of like 100 frozen hot dogs.
You're putting the cart before the horse.
What did I do?
We walked over. In between classes, we looked into the class, and you decided, for no reason whatsoever, to pick her skirt up.
Well, yeah, but she was walking back with the hot dogs. That's when
she
I did
already had them in her hand?
Yeah, she went out and she came back.
Carry on then.
She came back with the hot dogs, and as she was walking into the classroom with her butt facing us, in her front facing the classroom, I thought it would be a good idea to reach down and grab her dress and pull it up over her head.
All the way.
I did not know she was not wearing any underwear that day.
You found out.
I saw her butt. Looked good. But the terror that ensued after that, I couldn't even enjoy it because I knew what was going on in front. I knew that she had full frontal nudity. Look to the whole class. And I could see over her shoulders, and I just saw people's like eyes like, oh my God. And before I could even fucking process a thought of escape, she like turns around and just gives me this fucking like crazy move, and she smashed me with that bag of hot dogs.
I was directly behind
And you were
like
behind me. So,
nuts to butts.
Yeah.
And I didn't see anything except like maybe
my
her
body
shoulder
falling
up,
on
her shoulder up in the dress there, and then you just turning around to run, but I'm right there, so we
ran
both
into you.
fall.
I fall. She pulls her skirt back down, and she takes off her shoe and starts beating me with it. And I just get up and run down the hallway. And people are like, "What happened? What happened? What'd he do?" And I like fucking got in so much trouble, dude.
No, and then she was throwing the hot dogs down the
then
hallway.
she was throwing the hot dogs at me. So whatever. We fucking graduation was in 2 weeks, and they were like, "Go home. You're suspended. Don't come back till graduation." I was like, "All right." I texted him, like I called Maria or whatever. We smoothed it over. I was like, "I'm sorry. I didn't know you were wearing any fucking underwear." She was cool as fuck. She didn't give a fuck. And yeah, then I came back and got in another thing, and then fucking finally graduated high school in 1997.
Yeah, but they did, what do they call them? Superlatives? Most likely to succeed.
Yeah.
So,
I got class rowdy.
yeah, but preface that with the fact that the votes were in before the incident with Marie, and they're already in, tallied, whatever. So this was already information sitting and waiting before this incident with the hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
So everybody's gathered on a night after school for the, most likely to succeed, most likely to host a podcast, whatever the fuck it is. And the male class most rowdy, Ben Grippo.
Mhm.
The woman's class most rowdy, Marie Bokiko.
Bokikio. Dude, so funny.
It erupted in that room.
People were just like, wow. I remember they gave me this stupid little trophy. What is a rowdy? They didn't want to give me class clown because they gave it to some dude that was like fucking, oh, he's the cool guy, funny guy, clever. Like they gave me class rowdy. Yeah. Just means special ed. And that's fucking, they were prejudiced against me.
Yeah, it was a nut show.
Oh my God.
What happened? You know a story I want to hear when you drove the teacher's car into a certain body of water?
Didn't I tell that one already? Did I tell that one on another podcast?
I'm not sure.
Have I had anybody from like my? No, I don't think I did.
don't think so.
Oh man. Well, the statute of limitations is definitely up, so I will tell the full story.
Awesome.
So, when I was a freshman in high school, I had two friends. Well, I had three other friends that were older than me. Okay, so we used to go to all the volleyball games because we didn't like volleyball. We liked looking at girls' butts when they go down to do that squat thing.
Yeah, they have shorts.
Yep, and we would sit there and look at butts the whole time. And I'm with these three older fellas. I was 15, two of them were 16, and one of them was 18. And they were like, yo, let's go outside and smoke a blunt. I was like, okay. So he's like, yo, see if we can find a unlocked car to sit in, just smoking some random stranger's car. I was like, okay. So there's this pickup truck right there. And I open up the door, and the door opens. And we all, like, it's like a, a Ford F-150. It's just no extra cab, just a bench seat. And there's four of us in there. And I reach, while they're rolling the blunt, I reach under the fucking seat, and there's the keys.
I love you just rolling a blunt in some random
Some
car.
random person's car. So the oldest of the trio of my friends is like, no, first I started it up, and I drove it around the parking lot. I put it back. The older bastard that we were with was like, yo, let me see the keys. And he came in the driver's seat and moved me over, and we take off. And he takes off out of the parking lot and like up through miles away from the school. And we're smoking. And then he starts hitting leaf bags. Then he starts hitting mailboxes. And then he hit a fire hydrant. And the fucking water's going up. And I'm like, now I'm scared. So we're headed back down to school to put the car back. And we're going through Page Park. And for anybody that knows, in Bristol, Page Park is the park that's directly across the street from Bristol Eastern High School. There's a pool there, but there's also the lagoon, and it's right across the fucking.
It's definitely a lagoon.
It's right across the way. So we're coming down past the lagoon, and it's like a pond. And this motherfucker goes, jump out. I go, what the fuck you mean jump out? Before I knew it, everybody's fucking jumping out, and the fucking car, the truck, goes whoosh right into the water. And my boy, or no, the one of us in the other four of us had his wrestling bag with him with all his shit in it. So he fucking is in the water, and we kind of get out of the water. I was dry. I jumped out before we hit the water, and I see the fucking truck go right under the water all the way. And I can see like the headlights. I can see fucking fish and shit. And I was like, oh my God. So they're all laughing. We walk back to the school, and we see another friend of ours who had his car. And we're like, yo, drive us up there so we'll show you what we did. So we go back. By the time we had made all this happen, we come back. Every police cruiser, ambulance, and fire truck that was available in Bristol was there with a small dinghy going around the boat or the cab of the pickup truck, and they're hitting it with an axe because when someone jumped out, their foot hit the blinker, so it looked like somebody was in the water like, help, help, like crossing their hands back and forth. So the cops are out there trying to bash the window in. They finally figure out no one's there. The woman who owned the truck is standing on the shore crying, and the kid that did it walks over to her, puts his hand around her, and goes, wow, I really hope they catch the fucking assholes that did that.
God.
Soulless motherfucker. So, whatever, a couple weeks go by. Police start visiting Bristol Eastern High School, and I was in a special ed over there, and they come the daughter of the person whose truck it was had a boyfriend. The dude comes into my classroom, not in special ed. He was like older than me, and he lays down a brochure of all the different Ford F-150s, and he's like, if you could have one of these, which one would you have? And I just said to my teacher, Miss Borg, can I leave? And I left, and everybody ended up getting arrested and doing one. The dude that did it did jail time. The other two got $2,000 fines. I was a juvenile. I got a $250 fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
And is that what got you sent to Central?
No,
That wasn't enough to kick you out of school?
No, the first time I got kicked out was for when I smashed all the windows, punching it in Boyd Biondino. And then when I did well, because I went to Bristol Central for three marking periods, 3 semesters, and I got straight A's, only because I didn't know anybody. I hadn't met you yet. And they let me go back, and I fucking threw an M80 in the hallway, and they made me go back to Central, and that's when I met you, and that's when everything started. That's when I fucking found I found a flyer on the ground walking home from detention, and it was a Madball Hatebreed Cornerstone show at the bike exchange. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Right at the bottom of Union Street.
That's where I found the flyer. Jamie Josta had fucking tacked it to the street right there. So I took it and I showed Eric, and I was like, yo, let's go to this shit. But he was like listening to the Bosstones at that time, and I was like into Biohazard, and we went, and that sets the fucking stage right there for like the rest of my life. That's how we all got involved in like hardcore.
Yeah, I loved it when we
would bring you with. You were our ghetto friend that we would bring to the shows.
Oh, I loved getting out of the project. You guys love coming to the project.
You
I
wanted
like
to get
getting
out.
Like we'd go to like, I don't know, was it Pearl Street,
Yeah.
Tuxedo Junction?
Yeah.
Like we take these road trips. We're getting high, like rolling stuffies.
Yeah, with Stuffy Brown Tube. I can't say his real name, but I will say Stuffy Brown Tube. Wait, what else did they call him? Orange Frankenstein?
Can fit an entire ketchup package on each wedge. I can't say it like Eric says it.
Oh, man, dude, I was just texting with him before, and he was cracking me up.
Dude, he blew a fit that time when you guys came. And that's how I got the name Wiggins. That was Timmy the Wigger, because you guys would come down and pick me up in a project, and it'd be nothing but a sea of black people.
Yeah, where's the Wigger?
Yeah. And I remember once you guys came to pick me up, and he was driving, and he blew a fit. He had a lanyard with his keys on.
Because I was late, and he smashed the
started
top of his car.
Yeah, his own car, blowing a fit.
Fuck.
I seen a picture on Instagram with him on it, and it was just like with people who are like, lots of followers, still in bands, like traveling the world. And then I just seen a picture of him. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Fucking he was great, dude. He was great.
Yeah.
We'll hide his we'll hide his anonymity.
We'll keep his anonymity.
We'll keep his anonymity. I'll take his anonymity and hide it in my pocket.
I'm gonna hide it.
Fuck, man.
Dude, we used to, I loved it. I just, it was hard for me at first to understand, like, you guys willingly let people, like, kick and punch at you.
Yeah, Tim didn't understand the philosophy behind moshing or like, and this was a period of time where it was known as the Connecticut Crucial Kickbox.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, why are you guys all like doing karate in this circle?
I didn't mind that you guys did it, but there'd be people that would eye me, and I felt like they were like gunning for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
And I just remember you were the kid we brought that wouldn't mosh, but if anybody ran into you, they got fucking like hammered, like smashed onto the ground, dude. That shit was so fucking good.
guys were great
Were you
with
there
that.
for that Earth Crisis show where all those skaters beat up that kid's dad because he put a cigarette out in his hand?
I don't remember. There's a lot I don't remember.
Maybe probably 1994, 1995 Earth Crisis show at the Bristol skate park. And this is like, dude, that was probably the most attended show I had seen inside there. Dude, you couldn't even get in. It was so many people, definitely over the fire code. And there was some kid, the guy there, and he was only there because his son was skating. And like Earth Crisis is playing, and he's standing in the middle of the pit, drunk as hell. And he's like looking at everybody, and he takes a cigarette out, and he like puts it out in his own hand, and he kind of like is pointing at these people. And before I know it, he was swarmed by all the militant vegan straight edge
Holy
kids.
shit.
And they were just going like hitting him with skateboards. And that kid came, and all of a sudden we just heard, "That's my dad!" And dude, we were cracking up. They took the dude out on a stretcher. He got beat up by angsty, militant, straight edge vegans that night.
I remember the first big show I went to was it was 25 to Life, Agnostic Front, Warzone, and another straight edge band I can't remember. It was
That's
at
a
Tuxedo.
fucking sick lineup.
Yeah, it was at Tuxedo
Was that the
Junction.
one we went for the big ass fight? Were you
Yes.
there for that?
I think so. It was a
Damn.
fight that night,
Hatebreed was on that too.
probably. And Sheen's car didn't start or something like that the same night. It
Yeah.
was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And that was I remember we got Jarvis brought us home in a minivan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Josta was in there with us.
That's fucking.
I didn't know who
hilarious.
any of these people were, who they were gonna be at that. Like, this is my first couple shows. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm with Ben, I'm with Eric. Fuck.
Dude, we used to fucking go off.
What about that? Just reminded me. Remember the Quarter Pound party?
Oh yeah. Which one?
The Roadhouse.
Okay, and then they did another one at the fucking after hours, the Diablo after hours across from Brass City Tattoo.
Oh.
Years later with Bones.
Oh.
But I remember the first one. Was that the one where he rolled the big bamboo?
I forget. Everybody
No,
was there.
The quarter
I brought
pound.
the quarter pound.
You brought a quarter pound of dirtweed.
Mids.
Mids.
From Special Ed.
Yeah, it was from Special. It wasn't no Pepperhead, but it was some, and we like did it in all ways. We rolled all million blunts. We put it in the 6-foot bong. But
We had blunts, joints. I brought like 5 or 6 dudes from the ghetto.
yeah, and they were just rolling perfect blunts.
But then
And,
it got weird once they got high. They were worried, like
oh shit.
when Eric was fucking around and being jokes. They're like, is he? You laughing at us? Like, it started to get weird. I had to,
Yeah, yeah.
calm him down.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
Dude, that was hilarious. Wasn't Big Mike there?
Yeah.
Oh my, Boulder was there.
Boulder was there.
Dude, fuck, dude. I remember Big Mike passing out on the ground, and this motherfucker had a big ass belly. His belly button was like probably you could fit a golf ball inside it and like hide the top. Like you could fit a golf ball perfectly in his belly button. And I remember he was passed out, and Boulder was crushing up Doritos and stuffing them in his belly button and putting cigarette butts in it too.
God.
And I remember just laughing so hard. I think Beatty was there too. Dude, that shit was so fucking hilarious. And then we did another quarter pound party years later. I think I might have already gotten clean, or it was just before, and it was at the Diablo's after hours across the street from the shop. And for anybody that knows, there's a Cheech and Chong album called Big Bamboo, and that's why they have that bamboo rolling paper now.
Yeah.
But in the Big Bamboo record, the fucking thing that you pull out, the insert, was a perfect square, but it folded into a rectangle, and it was a rolling paper that was that big.
No.
And Bones took a whole quarter pound and rolled a big ass joint with it, and they were just passing it around the after hours. And I remember Reese took it and he breathed into it a little bit, and it made like this flame come out of the end, and all these bikers were like, yeah, like freaking out, dude. I was like, holy shit, this is the best night ever.
So insane.
Oh, dude, I love it. I just got 2 texts from you.
From me.
Yeah. Backdoor, it said.
Oh, yeah.
So what's up, man? We're gonna make some fucking music.
Yes.
I was just thinking, I got a dude that will do some videos pretty cheap, but I think me and you should make a song. We don't have enough time to do something involved, but I think me and you definitely have enough time to do a song with a video
Of course.
and then put it out.
Shit, we could do it when we're done with this.
Bad Apples 2.
Oh.
Is that a whack idea, or could we do like 20-year anniversary?
Oh, 20.
Has it been 20? No. Like
No.
when did that video come out? 10 years ago?
Yeah, about that.
No. Well, I was fresh out of rehab, and I've been clean for 10 years. So it's got to be at least 9.
Yeah, because we were already
Fish
playing
Grease
for
was
a
still
little.
there.
Yeah, he should be out soon.
Yeah. See, we look at the people we fucking that were in our music video.
Dude, remember like the Hartford part that that it all got cut. Remember all the
Oh, yeah.
the beast footage that we could
Yeah.
have had from him in RT studio.
Hell yeah.
He was acting insane, and then he disappeared
Yeah. And
For
went
like-
like yeah,
for
and,
hours.
yeah, and then like he would disappear for days, and nobody would know where he went. Remember when he fucking came to the Ab and he had some crazy ass boots on, and we're like, "Where did you go?" And he was like, "I was with the Backstreet Boys, and we went to the fucking Super Bowl, and that's how I got these duck boots. They're my favorite duck boots." And he was hanging out. It was called Hobo and Self, and that was like part of SNS, right? Or Hobo and Self were like producers for like
Onyx.
Cameron, like a bunch of fucking
They had a
different
big
people.
part in bringing 50 to Connecticut.
They
I
had
remember.
they were a big part in like the early production for 50 Cent, and this was a production team between these two guys, Hobo and Self Service. So this motherfucker Hobo, we know, would come around with a Violator Averex, and you could only get
numbered.
a numbered Violator Averex for Violator Records at the time. There was like a subsidiary of Def Jam. They had like Big Pun,
Onyx.
Busta Rhymes, Onyx, and you had to be part of the record label to get this fucking leather jacket. And I remember I asked him to wear it, and he gave it to me for like a whole winter, and I would just it was so big on me. I would just wear it everywhere. And yeah, he went to the Super Bowl with the Backstreet Boys, and they bought him a pair of boots, and he came back to the hood. He was like, "Yo, look at my boots that the Backstreet Boys gave me."
He's so out of his mind.
Yeah, and then he was involved in something to do with the little news that everybody's heard about with Aaron Hernandez, and now he's been acquitted, right?
Acquitted of the murder. I don't know. He was found guilty of whatever, and he had got sentenced to 4.5 years. But it happened right after my wedding. My wedding was like 4.25 years ago, so his 4.5 years is almost up.
Yep, and he was in our Bad Apples music video.
Yeah, remember when he brought us to dinner with Fredro Starr, and
Yep.
then to that club in
At TGIF at TGI Fridays
at the West Farms
Mall.
and we were dusted out
We
of
were
our mind.
dusted. He brings us in there. Fredro Starr from Onyx is sitting down eating a lobster, and he gives me a fucking handshake. He gives you a handshake, and we're just standing there, dusted, looking at him eating a lobster, and then
And his entourage.
and his whole entourage. And Hobo's just like, "All right, let's go." And he brings us to
No, you introduce yourself as Tito Jackson
Oh,
with
yeah.
the I.
Yeah, because that was before Ben Grimm. That was my rap name, Tito Jackson with an I, Sin. And then we proceeded to go to, what was it, Club Eclipse or some shit like that.
It was either Phoenix or Eclipse.
Yeah,
that
because
in
that was two
Southington.
names. Yeah, and it was in Southington. And Onyx was playing a show in Southington, Connecticut.
Oh, there's another story that goes with that club.
Oh yeah, there's
But
a
yeah.
bunch. But we fucking started a riot. Well, no,
No, that was the other story.
that was the other story. But there was a big ass. No, was
No,
that-
we were
that was-
just on stage, but it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
even a stage. It was just like a mezzanine.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
He did the show, but we're so
and it was
dusted, we were
just
just
him,
like-
right?
He was doing his own show.
Yeah,
It
he was doing his own
wasn't
show,
Onyx.
and he was doing some Onyx verses and
yeah,
shit.
he would do verses from Onyx. But no, you're talking about
The riot.
when I smashed the dude with the bottle.
Yeah, Matt got caught up.
Well, so to preface the story, in gangs when I was younger, I had got jumped one day on the 3rd of July by another gang, and the main instigator. So my gang retaliated, shot up the house in the project 2 nights in a row. Then that gang of retaliation was running around Bristol looking for us with guns. They got pulled over because they were looking for a van that was part of the shooting that they were the target of. They got pulled over thinking they were the perpetrators, went to jail for a while. So when the dude gets out of jail, he's down Lake Ave. I'm like right around the corner from my house. I walk in this dude's house to sell him a bag, and I come out. My car was running. I'm in Lake Ave. You know what I mean? And him and his boy were there. I fucking banged out with both of them. Did fairly well in the fight, but the one dude jumped in my car and stole it. So this is years later again. This is the 3rd time dealing with this dude. I got jumped once.
It was like a Corolla, right? You had a little weird car that got stolen, right?
The Geo Prism.
Same.
But I had like a finance on it. I still owed on it.
Yeah.
And like because I thought they were going to trash it, knowing who they were, I stopped paying the payments and, whatever. And then they found it with limited damage. And all of a sudden I owed like all kinds of money. I was like, just fucking keep it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is... there was the first incident, a couple years passed. The second incident, a couple years passed. This is the 3rd incident. I didn't get a fair one either time I seen the dude. So there was like 20 of us in this club in a city adjacent to Bristol. And we did acid that night.
Yeah.
Me, you, and Sheen.
Yeah.
Like a lot of acid.
We came up off Billy. What his name?
No, that wasn't that.
That was another one.
Yeah, that wasn't the acid from that night. But I was thinking about that.
Me and Tim.
Here.
For anybody that doesn't know, me and Tim have a past of hard drug use, and we both became clean around the same time. But we weren't just like crackheads or like we weren't just like heroin addicts. We loved to dabble in psychedelia.
Oh, it was my favorite. We got to tell that story. Though.
We will.
But,
we will.
So we're in a club, probably the only few white dudes in there. This is back when they played violent music, Wu-Tang. They played Onyx. They played,
people were getting turnt.
Yeah,
before turnt was a thing.
I mean, the dancing was similar to moshing.
Yeah, dudes were just jumping.
So there's like 20 of us from the project, and there was already some things about to pop off. The night's about to close, and this guy looks. One of my friends look at me. He's like, "Your boy's here," and I'm like, "Who?" And he says the name of the dude who I've had these issues with. And I'm like, "Where?" He goes, "I'm not telling you." And I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah, then don't tell me that.
Like, why would you tell me that?
Yeah, fuck you.
So now I'm on high alert. I got my hands bunched. I got my pockets bunched up in my pants. Like I'm looking for something in my pockets and like pulling them up like I had like I was walking through water. And I'm like, with the acid, I'm like just probably at the most evil point I've ever been. So I'm like walking around. I'm looking people in the face, almost getting in fights with people who have nothing to do with it because I'm just
looking.
I'm like on edge right now.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden the lights come on, and I notice them. So I fucking grab a Corona bottle or some sort of beer bottle and just fucking as hard as I possibly could, just right across the nose and eyebrow area, smash this dude with a bottle. He's immediately out. So I start banging out with this boy, and the bouncers grab me, and I was so high on fucking acid, I felt like I was just floating through the club. Now, when I smash this dude with the bottle, everybody who's about to get in a fight that night, everybody that we were with, just starts fucking swinging on people. Like the issue only had to do with me and him, and he was only with one dude, so there was no way that.
But it started a riot.
Yeah, there wasn't two sides to it. It was just I fucking smashed this dude, and it was like a fucking bell went off, and everybody went nuts.
It was literally like a fight bell for boxing.
Yes,
ding, ding, ding.
And I'm floating through the air like above the crowd. By these bouncers out there were like ex-football players, steroid heads. Like I'm up in the air being floated because we were in the backside of the club, so probably like fucking 60, 70 yards from one side of the bar to the other, and I just watch everything implode inside, and people are just...
I remember being in that high part, looking down and being like, holy fuck, and then I see a guy go over the bar and smash into all the bottles, and then I saw you, and I was like, oh fuck, so I start making my way down. They had like one of those stupid circular staircases, and Matt, we had my brother with me, who was 2 years younger than me. There wasn't about none of that shit.
Not even old enough to be there.
Not even, we snuck him in, and he was bigger than all of us at the time just because he was taller. Somebody fucking snuffed him and started fighting with him. So Matt is now engaged in a fist fight with a dude that was probably 30 years old, and he's just going for it. He's just banging out, and we're like, holy fuck, dude, we're all fighting, and then we get like separated, and we were all in the parking lot. But
Matt
wasn't
saved me
there.
outside.
Matt wasn't there, but we saw this van like moving. They were working him on the other side, and Jay Dominguez went around and helped him, and then he came to your aid after that.
Yeah, and then Jay Dominguez got dumped on his face. So they throw me out of the club, and I just kind of like they threw me out the door, and it was like, I don't know why there was like a small coffee table. It had like flyers on it. So the dude's trying to throw me, like trip over as they're trying to like dump me on my head, and I like landed with my knee on like one of the guys' necks, so it didn't work out the way they wanted.
Yeah.
So I just can't kind of get up and jog out to the it was like a long parking lot. So I just jogged towards the street, like, fuck, I got out of there. Like, it's fucking going nuts in there. But I'm like, I got my friends in there, whatever. So I'm like posted up behind a car just looking, and everything starts spilling out from the club. But the fight is spilling out. It's not like the end of it. There's people on cars, people with shirts off. People
It looked like a wrestling match.
So I didn't know it was your brother at the time, but I see Jay get dumped, and I just seen him say, come on. Like, we had 20 dudes with us, so apparently we were doing well. So I start to walk back towards the action, and I see a bunch of white dudes. So I start, like, there's like 8.
Are those my white dudes?
Yeah, so there's like 8 or 10 of them. Once I realized I'm not with them, I start to, like, split the crowd. They were friends of the bouncer who was, apparently fucking pissed at me.
Yeah.
So they start beating the shit out of me, and I'm up against a car like you were saying your brother was.
Yeah.
Just getting fucking punched, and I'm using the car as just not fall.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I think it opened up. There's one weaselly dude that kept hitting me with these little fucking weak ones, but he's getting me mad. So like there was like a slow motion. Again, I'm on acid, so fucking there was like the seas opened up, and this fucking little weasel, I just reached out, dropped him, and all of a sudden the ass whipping got worse and worse and worse. All of a sudden, fucking, I see Panama, I see, I forget who else, but I know Panama and your brother, fucking, which are polar opposites. Panama is fucking 35 at the time.
Yeah, and like 300 pounds, like looks black, but he's from Panama.
Yeah, speaks perfect Spanish. They're just fucking one punch and dropping dudes. And to see Matt, I don't think, he had to be 19, 18 at the time. Just
He was
dropping.
fighting for his life.
In my life.
He liked it, dude.
In my life. I was bleeding from my eyes, nose, mouth, and my ears.
That, like, as an older brother, that's what made me be like, damn. I'm proud. Like, I'm so proud of him right now.
Yeah, that's
he could have ran and like hit under a car.
That's the most intimidating situation to be in.
Yeah,
like,
you got to fight to get out.
It's just a bunch of savages. Everybody's drunk. People are fighting for like. People don't have a problem with each other. It's a riot situation.
Yeah.
People are just swinging, and if they see, if you're punching somebody, you get punched. It just a chain reaction. Like, you fucking, what's the ping pong you drop into like a box full of fucking mouse traps?
Yeah.
Just starts fucking
yeah, they just start going
nuts.
off.
That was a shit show. I had to sleep with a towel on my head. I was bleeding out of everywhere, and was still high as fuck on acid leaving the place.
The worst trip ever.
Oh, I liked it. I get off on that shit. So of course I didn't like the punches I was taking, but I mean, that shit was legendary.
Dude.
Finally got the dude that fucking got me twice.
Nobody will ever be able to like see that shit, dude.
No,
Nobody.
or recreate it.
No, dude.
I mean, the music nowadays doesn't even have that like violent edge to it. I mean, the Slam and Slam's era.
Literally, that's what should have been playing in the background while we were doing that.
Let boys be boys.
Let the boys be boys.
Dude, that was so nuts.
I tried to listen to Onyx the other day, and I couldn't do it. They have like a new album out, and I tried to listen to old shit, and it just doesn't sound. Remember how hard and bassy and loud it was? Yeah. It just sounded like shit, and I was just like,
dude,
fuck
like
this.
The first and second albums were fucking
great,
amazing.
Yeah, dude, we had some fucking great stories, man. We came from.
So yeah, what about
shit?
You were talking about that other acid trip.
Oh man.
So Ben, always knew out of town people.
Yeah.
And he knew that I like to rob people.
Yeah, as I'd bring him to Tim's house.
Well, no, we were smart about it. We
Yeah.
would develop a relationship. Ben would introduce me. We get things going, and then he'd give me the green light. Like, all right, you can get him.
Yeah, do it now.
There was this one victim that Ben gave me the green light on, and I think he was working or something. You weren't available that day.
Yeah.
So I handled it with...
He had to meet you without me.
Yeah. So I handled it with a friend of mine, and my buddy, real fucking hood dude, like straight out of a fucking rap song. He's like making the dude strip, everything. Like the dude's on the side of my house, broad daylight, taking his clothes off.
In the summer.
Yes. So we got him for like, I don't know, it was 100 or 200 E-pills, but he also had a couple other things. One being...
A sweet breath bottle full of
them.
acid, yeah.
2 sweet breath bottles full of liquid acid.
Made by a local chemist, and he said that 1 drop was equivalent to 3.
So, again, Ben wasn't around that day. So me, my dudes in the hood, we fucking partied all night. E-pills. Malarney was there.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
He didn't have nothing to do with the robbery, but of course he took part in the pleasure.
He always did.
So we're going all night. You know what I mean? Like fucking E-pills, liquid acid, weed, and whatever else. And the following day, I don't know, mid-afternoon, Ben comes over and he, obviously I was going to give him some money or some of the spoils, whatever he wanted. But he heard about the liquid acid, so he's like, I want to do some of that. So Ben being a lot taller than me, we had to go on the stairway.
Stand on the stairs.
We had to go on the stairway in my mom's house so I could be above him. So I'm dripping, Ben has a big tolerance, so I'm dripping, 1, 2. And right when I'm at like the peak where it's like 4, maybe 5, the bottle goes from being
dropping to a stream.
Like to a concave, like it gave.
Yeah.
It gave like when you squeeze and, like if you were to squeeze a water bottle and water would like stream out instead of 1 drop. And he was already at like 5 drops. And I'm standing above, he had a big afro and his fucking big ass lip. And I just look at his face and he was just like, his eyes grew up like, what the fuck
are you
just
doing
happened?
to me?
And for somebody with the tolerance of Ben at that time to be outraged at the amount of drugs he was getting.
Why'd you give me so many drugs?
Was it fucking insane? So again, I'm already on the downslide of my night out. I had probably been going for 24 hours at a time. So he's pretty much, he has me as company, but he's alone in the psychedelic direction that he's going.
And now I'm in the hood with you. Now, granted, I knew everybody. However, I don't think it's a good idea for anybody to take a large amount of acid while being in the projects.
No.
You need some? What's up? Napkins?
Piss.
Oh, you want to take a piss?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Hold up. We can pause it.
Piss boy.
Tim's back from his piss, everybody.
Piss man.
Empty bladder. You've always had a small bladder. I remember just hanging out with Tim and him having to piss multiple times everywhere we go.
Oh, it sucks. You know what sucks even more when we were doing drugs?
Do you just have a small bladder or something?
I guess.
All right.
But when we were doing drugs, I'd have the hardest time pissing. Like that Fredro story,
yeah.
I got caught in the bathroom with him, and I was dusted, so it was hard enough to piss. And he's in the stall next to me, and I'm just like, I'm never going to piss. It's never going to happen. It was punishment.
So to finish up the story that we were telling before, how far did we get? All right, so like now we're in the hood.
You had just got the acid.
And I had just taken about 45 hits of fucking liquid acid. At least. And I was just like, I'm going to die. This is where it ends. With
nobody to take the ride with. I mean, like I said, I was there as company.
I wanted Tim to do it with me, but he was like, dude, I did it last night. Like, I'm going to chill today, but you could hang out. So, the day goes on. I was tripping within a half hour. Like, I was there within a half hour. I had taken so much. This is like a hot fucking July day.
Summertime in the
projects. And I, at the time, was like a good few years into a healthy intravenous heroin habit. And if anybody knows, like when you do psychedelics like that, you kind of just like look inward at yourself. And if you got any skeletons in your closet, they are going to come out and talk to you.
It's like, it's
like
the worst.
Anything bad you've done, you remember it. So like I'm looking
and you
down,
feel it on a different level.
You just feel like
you feel
fucking
the evil
scumbag. You feel evil. And I remember looking down at myself and being like, damn, you're wearing jorts. You got Timberlands on. Your hair is cornrowed. You have a do-rag over it. and you are covered in track marks
Yes, with a giant lip.
with a big ass lip and an afro.
Jackson has a sausage
I took out
lip.
my motherfucking half of my cornrows that day because it was fucking bothering me.
Yes.
So that's the day I met the Angels of Death. What is it? Or remember them? AOD?
Oh, Delon and TD.
Delon and TD.
Well, that's got to be the end of the story. So we still need. I'm gonna cover that part.
All right.
You were just. There was a point for hours
Tim
where you
had
couldn't
to
talk.
I couldn't even talk. So Tim was like, "Yo, what if I give you like a pad and a paper? Could you write down your idea, your thoughts to me?" I was like, "Yeah, like give me it." And then I couldn't even get what I wanted out to him. So Tim's mother was a saint. She caught wind that
She was a heroin addict, but she was a saint.
yeah, she caught wind that I did like some acid, and she grew up in the '60s. She knew about that, so she's like trying to like make it as nice as she could for me. So I sit down in Tim's house. I turn on the fucking the TV. First fucking thing on it, Perry Mason Horror Weekend, and I'm just like, oh my god, I can't watch that. I change the channel. It's like CNN in Beirut, just like tanks, fucking rockets and shit. I was like, oh my god, that's bumming me out. I change it. Fucking surgery channel. Fuck that. I can't. I turn the TV off. Right. So she's like, Grip, would you like me to make you a grilled cheese? And I was like, oh my god, this would make it so much better. Thank you so much.
You didn't say none of that.
Well,
I
I
think you
couldn't
just
even.
nodded.
That's what I was thinking in my mind. So she gives me the fucking grilled cheese. Now, I don't know if this is like a hood thing, but my white parents didn't do this. Tim's mother had put in tomato inside the grilled cheese. So I didn't even like tomato by itself at that age. And I was like thinking I was going to take a fucking bite of this golden, buttery, crispy bread
She was the shit at grilled cheese.
that would go into an oozy, warm cheese. And now I'm tripping, right? So I bite into it and I get all that, but on the way in, I taste and I feel something cold and slimy, and
foreign.
I don't know that there's tomato in it, and I just go, ugh, and I drop it out of my mouth and drop the plate, and it breaks. And I just remember looking at your mother and running out the back door, and she goes, Grip! Oh no, Tim! Something's wrong with Grip! And Tim comes and he's like, yo, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, just chill back here. So I'm sitting on the back steps of his house. Now, all the children in the projects had been tipped off to what I had done, and now they're fucking with me.
They all loved him, by the way.
And here comes all these kids around the corner, and they're making chicken noises at me, going, bark, 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 and they're making like chicken noises. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? So I remember I took my shoes off and I took someone's BMX bike and I started riding it so vigorously
For hours.
that my feet were bleeding. And they were like, put your shoes back on, Grip. And I was not listening. I'm pulling out my cornrows. There's a fucking afro flying. And I'm just fucking looking crazy.
And I don't know if you were trying to cop dope, if you already had dope, but you took our back before cell phones. We had cordless phones, and I had a crackhead hook me up with a fucking top of the line caller ID.
Nice
on it.
V-Tech.
It worked it was as close to a cell phone as there was at the time. You could be all the way up the block and fucking still talk on that thing.
Yeah.
And it was gone forever that day.
Because I lost it. I don't know where I put it.
I think you were pedaling it. I think it was in your
I
pocket.
had it
with
in
your
my
long-ass
pocket,
legs.
and I was fucking riding around on the BMX bike, and it just fell out of my pocket. So I lost Tim's mother's phone.
So it all kind of wraps up. He was talking again, and he was on this bike for hours. So obviously, I'm not with him on the pegs. So I'm over on Gerald's porch, which is where TD, Delon, Twan post my mother stabbing him.
Yeah. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
story.
there was a bunch of people, a bunch of goons sitting on the porch. We was all smoking. Ben pulls up, disheveled as he's been. And, he's talking again, but like I said, he was ripping his cornrows out. He's fucking way bigger than this bike, no shoes. And these guys were busting his balls because they cared for him. They're like, Ben, you ain't fucking with that dope, are you? And he
I forgot this
he
part.
has this big standoff. I ain't fucking with that shit.
Man, I quit. I quit a long time ago.
Loud, boisterous, flamboyantly disagreeing with their accusation that he's still using heroin. And he starts to ride off in a huff. And not two pedals in, what fucking falls out of his pants?
A spoon.
But a spoon. And it just goes cling-a-ling-a-ling.
And everybody exploded into fucking laughter, and I just rode away.
So mad.
I was like, fuck you guys. And they were like, thought you quit, Grip. Dude, that was fucking amazing.
I don't think I seen you for like an hour after that.
And then I forgot about it
Oh
and
my
drove
God.
back. And I remember that was the night, like, I didn't know Delon, and he was just like so hood. And I just remember sitting there, and it was like fucking midnight, and I had been tripping for a whole day now. And I remember he rolled a blunt, and he didn't know me from a fucking hole in the wall. And he kind of just comes over to me and is like, yo, you want to smoke? I was like, yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I just like sat there, and he was like, what's it like? And I told him all about my trip. And then I remember somehow getting picked up and going home. And this was when my parents lived in Avon. And I remember going to bed, not sleeping, laying there, and waking up the next morning, and I was still tripping. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm gonna die. Like, this is the end. It was so, like, you think about having anxiety now as an adult.
No.
Like, imagine that shit. And then I think I had some lunch, and it fucking, boom, it just stopped.
And that's why when you had got there, usually I would join you, but like with the E-pills and the amount, you know, you do a fresh robbery, you fucking do your drugs in excess. So I probably did fucking 6 or 8 E-pills. Not as much acid as I gave you, but as much as I was fucked up the whole night. It was like I wasn't going to start that thing all over again. It would have been uglier for me than it was for you. Well, maybe not uglier, but
it would have been serious.
that would have been another fucking 36 hours awake, and I was I just couldn't do it. But the fucking spoon falling out of your pocket, like sketch comedy, it was the funniest thing ever. Like, I wish I could just recreate that. I ain't fucking with that shit no more.
We could. I'm gonna recreate that. I'll at least write about it sometime.
Oh my God, that would be the best fucking. That would be the best.
Dude, while we were telling that story, another one came into my head, and I couldn't fucking remember what it was.
My mother.
What one? Which
with
one?
Twan.
Oh yeah. So we're all in the street one day.
Well, no, it started the night before with me and you smoking dust all night.
Yeah, me and Tim were, doing what we did best, and we're smoking drugs. And what had happened? He texted he called the girl.
Yeah, texted back then.
No, there was no texting.
We were out all night smoking dust. Me and Sage's mother had split up for a couple weeks at that point, and me and my daughter's mother lived in the same project as me and my mother, right on the adjacent street.
Mm-hmm.
So Twan and me, had drug business. He bought cane from me at the time. So he knew that I was staying at my mother's beefing with Jill. So he was coming to my house for the 2 weeks to deal with me, him and Bo. He was hanging with Bo heavy back then. So he knew where I was and that I wasn't staying home. But after that night of getting dusted, the sun was coming up. She had went to work. I still had a key, so I went over there to get some new clothes. I was going to go home and shower.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at the caller ID at my daughter's house.
Caller ID.
Yes. And I see that, and it was a new thing back then.
Yeah.
And I see that all the numbers that Twan calls from, because I know what numbers he calls from, his grandmother's, Rihanna's, Delon's girl at the time, and somebody else. There was like 4 different numbers. He called probably 10 times a day for the whole 2. Like, it was just, he outnumbered every other call to that house.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously he was trying to get with Sage's mom. You know what I mean? Trying to be cute. And so I didn't even say it out loud to Ben or nothing. I looked at it and I'm like, I'm going to fuck this dude up when I see him.
I knew it anyway.
Granted, he was 6'6", 300 pounds.
He was a big dude.
So
he wasn't like muscular, but he was way bigger than you.
Mistaken for Biggie Smalls at times. Big dude. So I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill this dude. Now it's like maybe 10 in the morning.
Yeah, it was pretty
like
early.
I'm like, and we're walking.
We were watching Rap City.
So I'm walking back through towards my mother's house, and who do I see? He used to drive a Neon. I see the silver Neon in front of Gerald's house.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? And again, we're dusted, been up all night. I'm not in peak physical shape, but I'm like, fuck. And I go over to him, and I ask him, I say, hey, why's your number all over the caller ID? Why are you calling that house when you know I'm staying at my mom's the past couple weeks? And he tells me, oh, I was looking for you. Him and I both knew when he said that it was a flat-out lie. So I just start fucking punching him. I probably got him like 8 to 10 times, and he keeps trying to get out. And he was a big dude, so the neons were small. It'd be hard for him to get out without any resistance. So he's trying to get out. I'm just slamming the door on him, swinging, punching. So he finally gets out, and fucking we go at it. And again, I'm dusted. Ben's dusted. And
he like got you on the ground.
yeah, well, it was the middle of the
pinned you.
summer. It was the middle of the summer. Like, all the kids are out now. I mean, all the kids that were chicken calling Ben,
All the young kids, all the people our age.
yeah, we're right in the
Old people are like coming out of their house.
Yeah, we're in the center of the project. So we go back and forth. We're fighting now. I'm hitting him with shots. He's hitting me. I got a pretty sturdy chin, and I feel like because I was dusted, I wasn't connecting with full power, but I was hitting him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just back and forth. Again, dude's 300 pounds. So he kept trying to grab me. At one point, he did grab me and get on top of me, and Ben like kind of kicked him off.
Yeah, pushed them.
So it kind of broke up, but then it started back up again like 2 minutes later.
And now I see the door to your mother's house kind of open.
Yeah, but so I finally realized he's trying to grab me, and I also realized that he was leaning back and swatting at my punches. So I would throw I would throw like a lead to get him to smack it and get his hands down, and I'd follow with a right, and I'd catch him every time. So I'm doing that. So he keeps swatting and backing up. I'm catching him. He's backing up, and I didn't see my mother coming. And all of a sudden,
Well, here comes Tim's mom with a cigarette in her mouth,
pajamas.
like lacy night pajamas, like white, and she's walking towards the commotion. But I can see one hand, and the other hand is kind of like tucked up in her pajama sleeve. And she just walks up behind Twan, and I do not really see what she did, but all of a sudden I just hear his crazy ass voice like this go, ah, ah, ah. And I'm like, what'd she do? Pinch him? And he turns around, and there's a fucking knife sticking out of his back. And it's not like it's kind of up and down in his fat. And he's screaming like a fucking seal got like fucking shot. And everybody's like, holy fuck. And someone comes over and pulls the knife out. Your mom just turns around and strolls back into the house.
With Woodrow.
With the dog in tow, locks the door, gone. And everybody's like, yo, Gail just fucking stabbed Twan. What the fuck?
And I had got to the point where my mouth was so dry, my lip was stuck up on my gums, and I looked like Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah.
And I was screaming, let me get some water. Let me get some water. And
Let me show you something.
And despite the fight with Twan, we grew up together. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Just a beef. So I didn't want my mom to stab him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he was on the ground like pummeling me to where she thought she was just trying to save me. She was just out of her fucking mind.
And so they call the cops. The cops come there one time, knock on the door. Gail doesn't answer it. They come back the next day, knock on the door. Gail doesn't answer it. Never heard another thing.
Yeah.
They just never came back.
And it was this crackhead dude took the knife out of Twan's back. Cops went over. He gave him full statements. But Twan, being the real hood dude that he is,
It was like, I'm not telling.
did not press any charges or write any statements on my mother because he knew with her, being on methadone, she wouldn't have made it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was like a death sentence. So, big shouts to him for that. But it still made it in the paper. And, of course, it has the tagline, woman comes to aid.
Son's aid.
Yeah, like rescue son. So I look like the victim in it.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was pretty eventful.
Oh, my God, dude. That noise he was making was so fucking crazy.
Oh, my God. And you had some girl with you that was just like, what in the world? Like, before that happened, she was probably like, what in the world did I get myself into being dusted all night with these two goons?
Yeah.
And then for it to result in that at fucking,
I can't even
10:30,
remember.
11 a.m.
I can't even remember the fucking sea donkey I would have been hanging
Oh,
out with
my
at
God.
that point. Oh my God, that was funny. So, dude, yeah, that's fucking great. That's a good one. I'm glad we got that out there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Flash forward to 10 years later, we're doing a show at Bleachers. He's on stage with us.
Oh yeah, and
Sniffing coke with Cam Neely.
we gotta fuck. Oh yeah, dude, with Neil. We have a song. We reference it in them. Oh no, the name of the song. The name of the song is called "Twan Did It," because back in the day, Twan I had gotten a friend cocaine, and when they gave the bag, it was all wet and shitty cocaine, and I didn't do that. Twan did it, and they remember me saying, "I already said Twan did it," and that's the name of the song. Twan did it.
Oh, that's great.
Holy shit! Nobody knows, man. These are the fucking memories that That's how songs get made. That's how they get named.
God. Yeah, it's like, again, I like Sean once was telling me, like, we talk, and to us it sounds normal. It doesn't sound, but it's like if repeated back, some of these stories sound like unreal. Like I was telling him once that I had smoked crack to come down off of dust, and he was like, "What?" I was like, "What?"
Just sounds crazy.
He goes, "What?" I said, "What?" He said, "You heard what you just said, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
It works.
And he goes, "You smoked crack to come down off of PCP." I was like, "Yeah, I guess maybe coming from you, it sounds a little crazier." But that was the one drug my mom hated. We've done dope with my mom. We've done coke, crack with my mom.
Yeah.
We had my mom smoke dust once.
I remember me and your
But she hated dust.
Remember she was talking all loud afterwards?
Yeah.
Ah! No one knew. Dude, I remember I stole your dope and did it with your mom once.
I remember. That was after another robbery.
Oh my God. I was like, "Don't tell Tim." She was like, "No, I won't."
That was a good robbery.
Oh, dude, we were so.
I had got out of. I think I did like 3 months in jail or something. I got out. I was like, I'm not gonna do no more drugs. And I was like, all right, I'll smoke weed. So I'm smoking weed, and this dude, I'm not gonna name no names, but he's like, so and so wants to talk to you. He's got an idea. So my mother's old apartment, when I turned 18, they moved her from a 2-bedroom in the project to a 1-bedroom. Apparently, this dude that moved into
The old apartment.
old one, the one where you spit the grilled cheese on the floor,
was selling.
a lot of dope, and he wasn't like,
But we didn't know him.
yeah, he was like a foreigner.
Yeah, we didn't know him.
So this dude's like, it was supposed to be me and these two. This one dropped out. I need a hand to make this work. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right. I'm like trying to scrape together $100 to pay this fine. So I'm like, fuck. All right. He's like, oh, it's supposed to be like 20 grand. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, if there's $1 grand and we split it 3 ways, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I'm so broke. So I'm like, all right. Fast forward past all the shit. That night we go over there. Main dude got a gun. Me and the other dude. So it was supposed to be 50% for the guy with the gun and the plan.
25 to the other.
25 for the assistants. So we get to the house. I know the house great, but Stu goes up to the front door with the other dude, and I'm at the side window looking through the blinds. And I see the dude in there with his wife. And I peek around the corner, and this dude tries the door. It's locked. And after it was locked, he knocked on the door. The dude comes, looks outside, sees a big monster dude with a mask on and a gun in his hand. Not letting him in.
Not letting him in.
No. He's not bringing pizza.
No.
So the dude's like, no. And he's a little dude, little foreigner, barely speaks English. No, I'm not letting you in. So the dude kind of pounds on the door, but it's not too late at night. It's maybe 9 o'clock. Like, you're not shooting the door down. So I look at this dude. I'm like, that's your fucking plan? So we're running back through the field to his girlfriend's car and await on the adjacent street. So we're pulling off, and he's like, just like calling it quits. I'm like, that was your fucking plan? And we're literally like, if you're on my mom's current porch and somebody else was on the porch where we did this, you could have a conversation. We're that close to my house when this robbery's happening. I'm not fucking risking all that and not getting nothing. So we're running away to get in the car, and I'm like, that was your fucking plan? I was like, give me a cell phone. So they're duplexes. There's 2 doors to each building, and if you live there long enough, you know that the attics, the drywall that separated them, has long been kicked down in every apartment. Yeah. So up in the attic, there's not any stairs that come down. It's just a square piece of wood. You got to climb up the linen closet shelves, and then it's just it's the support beams and insulation. So I call him. I call my neighbor, and first I told this dude. I said, listen, I'm gonna make this happen, but I'm getting 50%, and you two are splitting the other 50. They're like, all right, because they're ready to settle for nothing. Yeah. So I called my old neighbor who owed me money from old drug, transactions. I said, listen, I'll give you $100
if I can come through the ceiling.
Yeah, let me climb.
Let me just tell you that Tim he goes and he proceeds to go into the neighbor's closet, crawl up through the attic hole over to the top of his old apartment. This motherfucker dropped down inside the apartment like Snake from fucking Metal Gear Solid, and fucking boom, he did it. He's in the drug dealer's house and he takes $20,000 worth of heroin.
They weren't lying.
They were not lying. And I remember it was in a Coca-Cola 12-pack.
Before they made the fridge packs, when they were still 4 by 3.
It was still like a 12-pack thing. And it was full of heroin. Bags, bundles, big $100 bags, and then those lady finger pieces.
Vienna sausages.
They were like
motherfuckers.
They were like a hard piece of Vienna sausage, like long, hard block of heroin. And I remember you just coming back to your house and showing me it, and it was like what wasn't registering in my head. I never saw that much as a heroin addict. I never saw that much,
or been able to get your hands on that much at once.
So I remember we went to Hank's real quick to do something because we had to get out of there because it was too hot.
Yep.
And I remember when you weren't looking, I took one bundle and I felt so bad because I stole from my friend. But I remember I put it back and then I asked you if I could have some.
I would have gave you 10 of them.
And you were like, no. You said something. So whatever. So like, long story short, like, it all gets divvied up, you know, people fucking sell it and do it. But Tim kept one of them big ass fucking hard pieces and he had it in a shirt pocket of a flannel in his closet of his mother's house. So Tim goes out one day, I know it's there, and your mother caught me fucking shaving a piece off. She's like, Grip, what's that? And I was like, it's heroin. She's like, better fucking break me off some. So we fucking do some right there, put it back. You come back, and me and your mom are just fucking in la la land,
apparently
laughing our asses off.
Dude, with all that I got, and again, I started this story by saying I had just got out from like 3 months in jail, didn't want to do drugs. I immediately started trading away bundles for crack, smoking crack, doing bundles, fucking losing it. Like I went nuts. That was when I bought my first cell phone. Was out of that heist.
I remember when you got out of prison for that 3 months, and I came to visit you one day. Now
you came to pick me up that day.
I came to pick you up, and I was like a functioning heroin addict at this time. And I remember I pulled up to your house, and you were like, "Let go." You were wearing these crazy ass jorts that were like checkered of all these different jean colors, and your hair was getting long.
I remember.
And you looked so crazy, and you were so sick. Remember? And remember, I hit you in the stomach, and you like almost puked, and you got mad at me, and you made me go outside and sit in your car, and you had a probe at the time, and I remember just looking on the dashboard the whole time because the fucking owner's manual was out on the dashboard and it said probe, the thinking man's sports car.
It was dead in the driveway.
It was just dead in the driveway on like fucking cinder blocks.
Oh my God. Remember that time you came in when I was in the shower and I owed that dude all that money?
And you thought I was there to kill you?
I had acquired quite a debt with a Dominican fella from New York City. And good dude, but I mean, it was in the thousands. And I had a partner. That was actually right around when I had a partner got locked up the day Hatebreed took their first. Remember when you had the party at Park?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Anthony from E-Town Concrete came to the party, and there was the Hatebreed tour bus was outside.
Yes. So, but that night is the night the TL got locked up.
Yeah.
And he had he had a bunch of cash towards what I owed this dude, and half of our product that was on credit. So like when he got locked up, I started fucking up. You know what I mean? He kind of held me together. I just started fucking up, smoking more, and ran into this crazy debt with this dude. So like, this is pre-cell phones, there's a pager. You know what I mean? You could dodge people if you want to, especially the dudes from the city.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I was frequenting my mother's house at best, like just stopping in for a second, whatever. And I knew you were coming, but I was just nervous being exposed and being in the shower, like not being able to defend myself if he did show up at that time. Because my house, everybody that was good people, my mom would let in.
Dude, just revolving door.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm in the shower and fucking you come in and just fucking.
What'd I do?
Hey, yo, Tim.
Oh no, yeah, I used to do this voice. I was like, "Hey, yo, Tim," and he was like, "Ah!"
Oh, I thought
that was the only time I've seen you scared in your whole life.
I was fucking high on crack, exposed
in the shower.
And I thought it was about to go down in that tight ass bathroom.
Dude.
Motherfucker.
God.
And it was so loud. I didn't even know you were in the bathroom. Never mind fucking full voice. Like on the other side of the curtain. Like we could have kissed if the curtain wasn't there.
And like, let me tell everybody that I still do that voice to you to this
Yeah.
day. That's where it came from. Hey, yo, what's up?
But now it's funny.
I definitely have like a couple songs where like the ad lib track in the back. It's like, yo, what's up?
Oh, and it's fucked up because that bathroom had a window. So
And you
like
thought
I'd
he
get
was-
high and like look out of it.
Oh,
like I'd
dude.
be showering all cracked up, looking out of the fucking mirror. It was, out of the window. It was fucking nuts.
Dude, that just reminds me of like we could probably end after this, but I would like everybody to know this story. If you don't know, me and Tim, we've done our fair share of drugs, and
A
now
little bit.
now we're fucking like regular citizens. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, I coach football.
Tim
I coach
coaches fucking
baseball.
football, baseball. He's got 4 kids. I'm a fucking, about to get licensed through the state. I have an LPC license, a fucking
Crazy.
master's degree.
Very proud of you, by the way.
Thank you. I'm very proud of you. We did 2 crazy things that no one ever thought we would do. But this brings me to that story. He was talking about, like looking out the window when you're fucking high on coke or crack. And I remember one day when I was living with Anna on Beacon Street. I don't know what had happened, but I got a bunch of money and I bought a bunch of crack.
Yeah.
I didn't do dope that day. I did a bunch of crack. And I remember like hearing like an old wives' tale that like if you thought you had alcohol poisoning, you should eat a lot of bread because the bread will soak up the alcohol in your stomach and you won't die. So I'm just standing around. I didn't even sit down. I was standing around for hours just smoking crack like a maniac, looking out the window. And finally I just got on one and I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die. This is where it ends. So I ran into the pantry. I grabbed like 4 pieces of Wonder Bread and I ran outside. And I was like, well, if I pass out or if I go out, somebody's going to see me outside and they'll call the ambulance. So I go running outside. I am wearing jorts and no shirt. And I just drop down to my knees on my front lawn and my mouth is stuffed with 4 pieces of Wonder Bread.
It was going to soak up the crack.
Because I thought it was going to soak the crack up. And I remember just kneeling there, looking into the sky. And then like it passed. And I was like, oh my God. Like I'm outside on my front lawn, kneeling with bread all over my face and in my mouth. I just spit the bread out, walk back upstairs and resume my actions.
Holy shit.
And I was just like, yeah, I thought it was going to soak up the drugs.
When you started telling the story, I'm like, he was talking about alcohol, right?
Yeah,
He's smoking crack? What's the bread going to do?
We were so fucking bad and crazy, man. See, this is why I don't want to have fucking children.
You got to have them.
I might.
All the experiences, all the whatever. It's a different level of love. It's like,
Yeah.
It's busy, it keeps you busy, whatever, but it's, kids are the best. And who's
Yeah.
going to take care of you when you get old?
Exactly. Yeah, your kids will. That's why you have an army, because you know that you're going to be in the fucking home and they're going to have to fucking come bail you out.
Yeah, they're crazy, man.
That's fucking great, man. Well, thanks for coming by, my friend.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Any fucking time. I hope people listen to these stories and unfollow my podcast.
Unfollow.
But if anybody wants to follow him, it's my boy. What is your Instagram handle now? Wiggins CC still?
Correct.
So Wiggins CC on Instagram. You could go look at pictures of his beautiful kids and
And
his
it's Wiggins CC on Twitter.
Wiggins CC on Twitter. He'll tweet out some smart shit for you to listen to.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes fucking peeled. Me and Tim might have a visual coming out within the next 6 months or so, or we might have a track. But if we do, you'll definitely hear it here first.
And I apologize. Bad Apples had to be taken down because of my criminal case where they were using it against me.
Tim texted me not even that long ago. I'm like at work.
I didn't text you.
Oh no, that's right.
I was locked up.
You had been locked up, and somebody texted me and was like, "Yo, can you take down that video?" I'm like, "Why? It's got like 25,000 views. It's the best video we've ever done."
Got all mad.
And they're like, "Yeah, well, fucking, Tim raps about some shit in it that they might be trying to use against him." And I just remember logging on to YouTube at the fucking clinic and having to erase the video off of YouTube that had been up for like 10 years, and then just being like, "Oh fuck." But yeah,
I because you were pissed and I haven't spoke to you about it since. The worst part is that before you deleted it, the prosecutor had already made some sort of copy. So
Oh, really?
deleting it didn't
even do anything.
it was just- but everybody was panicking while I was locked up. Like, they're using it against me, and So thank you for taking it down, even though it was worth 0.
That's what I'm here for, dude.
Oh, the guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Wiggins.
Take it easy.
I came down here to ask one more time.
Nothing doing.
Oh, but plenty's doing. I know you're killing.
Why do you need more time?
Well, I get that $50,000 for you.
2 hours is all you get. If you don't have this thing sold by that time, you get the rest of your life.
Give me that shit, half of that, need to get some cash quick. 50-50 split, 25K running my way. What if I say? I know the killer, but I won't show the po-po. If you would just meet me at the corner store, it's realer, cause I ain't got no fucking time to filibust. Jack of all trade, trading sacks, no back and forth games. That's the forte, yapping all day, let it heat up, jack of saute. Give a little bit of reason, I might have to fricassee him. If I fricassee him, better have my split of 50 G's and I won't have to kick his knees. And I seen it, you know that I got it on wax. So fuck rap sales, I'll blackmail for profit now. Meet me with cash by 11 in Central in Lexington. Bet I'll bring extra friends. Just in case shit go get hectic, I'll flip and just wreck shit. No need for detectives now. Give me what I need, if not, I'ma leak the plot through the speaker box. Needed me to stop, I'ma bleed a rock. Don't you know you never feed a fox?
I want to make a deal. I'd like to share 50,000. Sure, keep my mouth shut.
Now make that choice.
Is it worth it to kill this man for 25,000 and go free? The killer will leave me 50,000. I'll take care of the money and forget the whole thing. I hope open was smart enough to tell time. I said 11 o'clock, and I don't like to wait even for 25,000 bucks.